I never thought retirement would scare me, but I remember sitting in my kitchen one morning, sharing up my coffee, realizing something just didn't feel right. Not physically, emotionally. And what happened next changed the way I see retirement forever. If you're retired or getting close, I need you to hear this because nobody talks about this part. For decades, we worked. We woke up early. We had schedules, deadlines, people depending on us. Then one day, it stops. They give you a handshake, maybe a cake, maybe a plaque, and suddenly the structure of your entire life disappears. And nobody prepares you for that silence. At first, it feels good. No alarm clock, no boss, no commute, no stress. But after a few weeks or months, you start asking yourself, who am I now? That question hit me harder than I expected. Because for years, I wasn't just Dan. I was the provider, the worker, the problem solver, the guy people called when things went wrong. And then the phone stopped ringing. That's silence for sure. One morning I sat there and thought, is this it? I had waited decades for retirement, and yet something felt empty. Not broke, not sick, not in crisis, just disconnected. And now I'm not the only one who has felt that. Here's the moment that woke me up. I wasn't dramatic. It was small. I went to the grocery store on a Tuesday morning, and I realized this was my life now. Mid-morning shopping, clipping coupons, watching gas prices, checking my bank app, and I thought, did I shrink? That question shook me. Then we talk about financial fear. Nobody tells you this. Even if you've planned well, even if you've saved, retirement makes you hyper aware of money because there's no reset button either. There's no next time I'll make more money. There's no next promotion, no overtime. No, I'll just work harder. Now it's fixed income, rising prices, groceries are up, fuel is up, insurance is up, and you start calculating everything. I remember standing in the aisle comparing two brands of cereal, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. That hits your pride a little bit. But I found out that the food in the generic was just as good as the name brand stuff. Let's talk about health reality. And then there's the body. Woohoo! You don't bounce back the same. A fall hurts longer, a bruise lasts weeks. Recovery isn't days, it's months. You realize you're not indestructible anymore. That's not fear talking, that is reality. And when your body slows down, your confidence can slow down with it. I had just come back from a bike crash and I'm healing from bruised ribs, so I can tell you it takes time. But then let's talk about the turning point. But here's where everything changed for me. I realized something powerful. Retirement didn't shrink my world. I shrank it because I stopped challenging myself. I stopped trying new things. I stopped pushing limits. I started playing it safe, and safety can quietly turn into stagnation. That was my wake-up call. And guys, you got to remember that once you stop working, everything stops with it as far as work-related stuff. So I made a decision. Wasn't a dramatic one. It was a simple one. I would treat retirement like a second career. That is the way you have to look at it. Not for money, but for purpose. Have a purpose-driven life. I started writing more, filming more, sharing more, talking about the real stuff nobody wants to admit. And something amazing happened. The phone didn't start ringing, but the comments did. People saying, "I thought I was the only one who felt like this." That's when I realized purpose isn't given, it's chosen. Here's what most retirees won't say out loud. We miss being needed. We miss momentum. We miss feeling like we're building something. And when that disappears, you either slowly fade into routine or you decide to rebuild yourself. That's what this video is about. That's the choice. Every single day, do something different to help people out, do whatever that you can help everybody really have a better life that's around you. If you're feeling bored, disconnected, you're anxious about money, slower physically, uncertain about your identity, you're not broken. You're transitioning. And transitions are uncomfortable. We all know that for sure. But here's what helps. Move daily, even if it's small. Learn something new. Create something, anything. Serve someone. Talk honestly about the hard parts. Retirement isn't the end. It's unstructured freedom. And freedom requires direction. That morning at the kitchen table that we talked about, the one where something didn't feel right, I understand now. It wasn't fear. It was potential knocking. Retirement wasn't asking me to slow down. What it was asking me is, who are you without the title? And that question isn't scary anymore. It's empowering. If this spoke to you, don't just click away. Tell me in the comments. I answer everything that comes in. What has been the hardest part of your retirement for you? And what has surprised you the most? Because the more we talk about the real stuff, the stronger this community becomes. And remember this, you didn't survive decades of life to coast. You're not done. You're just getting started.